don't just want the news, they want the truth. What others hide, I bring to you with evidence. Politics, corruption, human rights. No filters, no fear, just facts. I don't stop until the system shakes. Hello and welcome. This is Makhdoom Shahabuddin and you're watching Trending Daily. Ladies and gentlemen, today's program focuses on the developments in West Bengal following the 2026 Assembly elections, where the Bharatiya Janata Party secured a major political victory, marking a significant shift in the state's power structure. But the story does not end with the election result. What followed has raised serious concerns about violence, political intimidation, and the nature of power transition under the current political climate shaped by Narendra Modi and his party. This program examines the reported incidents, the allegations made by the opposition groups, and the broader concerns being raised about governance, law enforcement, and democratic norms. In the immediate aftermath of the election results, multiple districts across West Bengal reported incidents of unrest. Leaders from the All India Trinamool Congress, led by Mamata Banerjee, alleged that their party offices were systematically targeted. Reports indicated that offices in Tolgyun, Kasba, Bariupur, Kamrati and Barnagagar were vandalized, set on fire or attacked by groups of people described as politically motivated mobs. For the opposition, these incidents are not being seen as isolated clashes. Instead, they are being framed as part of a pattern of post-election intimidation aimed at dismantling existing political networks at the local level. Casualty reports have further intensified concerns. Clashes in districts such as North 24 Parganas, Hora and Birbhum have reportedly led to at least 4 deaths and numerous injuries. Political workers, polling agents and supporters have been among those affected. Opposition voices argue that such violence reflects a breakdown in law and order during a sensitive transition period. They question whether the state machinery acted swiftly and impartially enough to prevent escalation. At the same time, the lack of fully verified independent accounts in every case means that the exact responsibility for each incident remains contested. One of the most controversial developments has been the reported use of demolition machinery in Kolkata's New Market area. According to multiple reports and opposition claims, a structure associated with a TMC-affiliated union was demolished using bulldozers. Nearby shops were also affected, leading to disruption for local traders. Critics have linked this to a broader pattern often described as bulldozer politics, where demolition drives are seen not only as administrative actions but also as tools of political signaling. For critics of the Bharatiya Janata Party, this raises a key concern: whether such actions are being used selectively against political opponents, creating an atmosphere of fear and compliance. Supporters of the government, however, maintain that any demolition is carried out under legal provisions and should not be politicized. Another layer of concern relates to social and religious tensions. In Barsat, reports emerged of a road being informally renamed during victory celebrations, shifting from Masjid Bari Road to Netaji Pali Road. While this was not an official administrative change, symbolic acts like these can carry deeper implications in a diverse society. They can be interpreted by some communities as an attempt to reshape local identity and public space. Human rights observers and political leaders have also raised alarms about the potential marginalization of minority communities. Allegations include intimidation, reduced political representation, and a shrinking space for dissenting voices. These claims remain part of an ongoing debate and require careful independent verification. However, their presence in public discourse reflects a growing sense of unease among certain sections of the society. The impact of these developments is not limited to political actors. In commercial hubs like central Kolkata, reports suggest that many traders shut down their businesses amid fears of unrest. The presence of large crowds, political slogans, and heavy machinery created an atmosphere of uncertainty. For ordinary citizens, the immediate concern is safety and stability. Economic activity, even if temporarily disrupted, highlights how political conflict can quickly translate into real-world consequences. The response from the Bharatiya Janata Party has been clear and consistent. Party leaders have denied any involvement in orchestrating violence. They argue that the incidents are the result of internal conflicts within the All India Trinamool Congress following its electoral defeat. According to this narrative, factional rivalries and local disputes within the opposition have led to clashes rather than any coordinated action by the ruling party. This sharp contrast in narratives is a defining feature of the current situation. Each side presents a fundamentally different explanation of the same events. At the institutional level, the Election Commission of India has intervened by directing authorities to take strict actions against violence, arson, and vandalism. It has also called for detailed reports from the state administration. Such directives are important, but their effectiveness depends on enforcement. Questions are being raised about whether institutions can act independently and decisively in politically charged environments. Looking at the broader picture, this situation raises several important questions about governance under the current political climate in India. Critics argue that there is an increased trend where political victories are followed by aggressive consolidation of power at the ground level. This includes not only electoral dominance but also control over local institutions and networks. They point to incidents like vandalism, demolition drives, and symbolic assertions as indicators of a more assertive and confrontational style of politics. Supporters, on the other hand, argue that strong governance requires decisive action and that allegations are often exaggerated by political opponents. The reality likely lies in careful examination of verified facts. Post-election violence is not new in the region. However, its scale, visibility, and political framing in this instance have amplified its significance. The key issue is not just what happened, but how it is addressed. Accountability, transparency, and adherence to legal processes will determine whether the situation stabilizes or escalates further. In conclusion, the aftermath of 2026 West Bengal elections has become a critical test case. It is a test of how power transitions are managed, a test of institutional strength, and a test of whether democratic process extend beyond voting into peaceful and lawful governance. The allegations of violence, intimidation, and aggressive political behavior have raised serious concerns. At the same time, denials and counterclaims highlight the complexity of the situation. As investigations continue, the focus must remain on verified evidence, accountability for any wrongdoing, and the protection of all citizens, regardless of political affiliation or religion. This remains a developing story, and its long-term impact will depend on how these early days are handled. This is Makhdoom Shahabuddin. You are watching Trending Daily. See you in the next episode.